Hosting the Come Join Me live on YouTube, TikTok, stocks, and the stock market. We're going to look at BABA today. Let's see, what else are we going to look at? We're going to be looking at BABA, Amazon. We will also look at GHIV, Amazon, Apple, SPY, QQQ, and more. I do have to apologize to you that I am running a little late today because I have been in website mode all day, working all day on the new website. The aspects of people being able to sign up for the watch list were not working. People were not having access. So I do apologize for everybody that is currently a subscriber. You are going to have an additional month added on. I will be adjusting all of your subscriptions so that you do receive an additional month. And I'm going over here to access the chat so I can see you live. All right, I see 6 people watching. 7. All right, if you guys like it. Hey, Asif. Well, I'm trying to really... Yeah, we'll add FSLY and Overstock. Sure, my pleasure. I just have to adjust one quick thing here. And if there's any stock that you would like to check out, put it in the chat. I will go over them. If the music is too loud, let me know as well, and I will turn that down so that your eardrums are not being blasted and you're able to hear what I'm saying. All right, coming back to the chat over here, I do have the SPY up. Does look like it is in a bit of a correction over here today, but it was not a surprise. Many times when we have that gap fill mode setting up, when we have this gap up, we go into fill mode and potentially we will have a bigger move to the upside. We will see targeting up here 375. We could easily come back down to 371 and it would still be in that upward trend. So keep an eye on it because it could really move to the upside. All right, there we go. Now I can see you guys. All right, so coming back down, you guys know, that I love my, hey TLT, Bat Scientist will do, stuck in Fastly at 103. Okay, let's add Overstock and Fastly and TLT for Julia and Bat Scientist. So looking at the SPY here, first day we really gapped up. This could be that Wyckoff spring, came up. Again, I'm watching to see, are we going to hold this upward trend line right here and surge higher? There is that potential. This is the anchored volume weighted average price. It looks like everything is going straight up. Well, this looks like it's coming down today. It's pretty bearish. It's a bearish engulfing from yesterday. So keeping that in mind, we might have a big reversal. They might be trying to suck these shorts in and then squeeze them to the upside. So keep all that on watch. We're about to come down to that 425 on the 5-minute chart. Let's zoom in and see if that offers support right here. I love that. Oh, okay, we have that 371.44. Let's see if we go to 44 and bounce. We'll watch it just for a second. Looks as if some volume is coming into it potentially here. I love that. EMA. All right, next we have the Qs. So the Qs, Apple, Microsoft, Qs are definitely looking stronger. Was a nice short today as well. IWM, big drawdown today. Broke down. Nice job, Bat Scientist, on taking your profits because it definitely pulled back. Now, does that mean that we are going to the downside here? Maybe potential long entry right here on that 20 simple moving average, in my opinion, down roughly at 192.04. Let's throw on an anchored VWAP over here and see. Yeah, look at that. 192.37 might be an awesome entry for long position on IWM. We will see. I have not been watching the news. Like I said, I've been working on my website all morning. I don't know how web developers do it. It's sort of stuff that my web developer couldn't do. It's on me. So, mind-blowing. All right, so let's get into the list as well for today. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon is nicely rising today, probably one of the few that's on the upside. But we came up, tested this trend line on the daily. I mentioned before that that would likely be a resistance point. Sure enough, we came up, tested it 33.25 and pulled back top of 33.32 over here. Let's put on the 15-minute chart. There we go, 15-minute chart, almost to the penny right there. We're still in the upward trend, came down and hit the 50 simple moving average on the 50. All right, let's look at Apple as well. So Apple had a bit of a retracement. I did talk about this yesterday in my live stream. Also, a couple students that I was working with, a friend of mine that had questions. Hey, every time that we have the massive up move, sometimes it goes 3 days down, back down here, and then it surges higher. So this is not unlikely. Also affects the market as a whole when we have Apple as such a strong weight in the SPY and the Qs. Let's look at ACAM. This was the first one on my potential long list today. Ended up pulling back and failing. GHIV as well was on the list. Nice short off of the $14 whole round number mark all the way back down over here to that 4 EMA. We also have Snap right here. Had a nice run up. Pre-market broke the 50.80 level. Ran all the way up to 53.80. And then came back down. KOS, a lower float that I had on my list today for potential move. Nice short off of the breakdown of 420. And BABA. You guys heard me talk about this yesterday. I wanted to see if it would close up above that 425 EMA. Came up, and it seems as if there's a lot of resistance right here at the 4 EMA. This might be a scenario where it pulls back up only to come down and continue in this downward motion. So we had a big gap down, filling it up to that 4 EMA. Will it hold above 230 today, or is it going to close below 230? I would keep that on watch. It might come all the way back up here to that 242 area and then continue to the downside. The volume is dropping, so the buyers are not really getting into it. The 425 EMS futures on the 5-minute has bounced off each side of it for just 2 hours today. Just use it as resistance to go further down. Nice, Mark. I'm glad you're using it on other instruments as well. It's pretty amazing. Let's go and look at it on the ES futures. I actually do not have it on my Thinkorswim on the ES futures. What time frame? 5-minute? I don't see it. I see it down here. On the 5, oh, that's 15-minute, excuse me. And also, yeah, look at that. Look at how it danced around it and then broke down. And now we're in hitting a trend line for that upward trend. It's really interesting that, oh, this is, let me put on the 24 hours. No, it's interesting. It's showing resistance there, but support over here on the 5-minute. So seeing that, this is the potential for a lower risk long, in my opinion. We might see this catapult up to 385 before the end of the year, believe it or not. What happens? I don't know if they had that. I don't know if they had the Senate vote yet. Haven't been watching the news. If you guys know, put it in the chat, please. If the Senate vote happens today, then they might go boom and scream higher on all the indexes with the positive news for the government, but really it lies with what are the really big guys doing with the market. And you can see over here on the 24-hour for ES, this could pull all the way back down to 36.72, and then it would still be an upward trend. We're testing that resistance over here. This is 15 minutes delayed, so it might be a little lower. Let me see over here. Yeah, 337.20.75. I need to throw on that 425. Thank you, Mark, onto my ES over on TradingView. That's real time. All right. Excuse me, on Thinkorswim. And I'm not going to lie, I'm tired with dealing with all this administrative stuff on the website. So here with Tesla today, I had this actually on my short list. It offered Yeah, my pleasure, Mark. You know what? It's nothing except for a little bit of knowledge, right? And so many people look at me and they're like, why would you have the 425 on your on your chart? And it's because it works, right? That's why I have it on there. And look at how Tesla's hit it so many times today, and it's moving to the upside right now. This looks very bearish right here. However, still aiming for my target. I'm actually considering moving my target up to roughly 315 over here. With TrendSpider, let's go here. TrendSpider is awesome. They have 50% off right now until January 1st. So when we look at TrendSpider, I was also going over this with my friend. We have Amazon right here hitting, not quite yet hitting the upper trend line up here, but we saw the trend line that I drew on my other chart, but 3350 might act as a resistance. Let's put on Tesla here. So when we look at Tesla with the trend lines, we could head on up 670, 675, and then the next big resistance. I love this point of control here with the volume. Let's go ahead and move this over. So I highly recommend you test out TrendSpider free for a week. If you need an additional week, just email Jake or Dan because you can test it out and see if you like it. Especially for newer traders, this is amazing for drawing trend lines and seeing that support and resistance. Thanks for your great explanation. Can you please tell me Amazon's still bullish? What is the next resistance support levers? Yeah, for sure, Prathap. I hope I pronounced that okay. I'll look at Amazon really quickly. So here we're looking at the support of 661 for Tesla. It's dancing around there right now. The 4 EMA on the daily is this pink hash line, and this could come up to test 668, 671, and then further up to 675, and again after that we might be looking at 715 for Tesla. That's why I'm raising my target up to 715. All right, let's look at Amazon. So Amazon, my bullish longer term target, Prathap, is going to be up at 4,400 for Amazon. Right now, we're starting to see the volume drop off a little bit. It did hit that trend line. So next area is roughly 33.53, 33.68, 33.83, 34.32, and up here 34.75. Longer term though, again, I'm looking really big picture. Let's put it on the daily. I'll actually forget that. Let's put it on the weekly chart so we can see here on the weekly chart where we lie. We have this trend line that has been holding as a resistance for quite a while. And the next one up from here is 35.20. So pulling it back and looking at that bigger picture, we are in between two trend lines. Looks nice and bullish, riding this up to the upside. After that, next one, hold on, let me drag this down here. If I adjust it over here. Sorry, didn't want to cough in your ears. Let me pull this down. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Now I can zoom in. And the next one, now I can stretch this again, stretch this out. So after 3,500 on the weekly, right? This is the weekly, 37.40. That's the trend lines that have really set up in the past, and that's on the weekly chart. After that, look, we've going all the way up here, 39.78. All right, back to TradingView. Sorry, guys. I don't have any coffee or water or tea. Also looking at SOL. SOL was on my short list potential today. Had a nice short off of open and provided a little bit of a long trade right here. Also had CVAC on the potential short list. And it ended up trying to fill the gap to the upside. We are bouncing off of that 50 simple moving average here. Might have a retracement back up to roughly 90. I would use 90 as a target. And Facebook ran up, tested. We've rejected this upper trend line today. So if we measure this out, right? How many people are you guys going off of Facebook? I just received a message from someone telling me to go to Parler instead of Facebook. So they might be starting to lose some users, especially if people start posting, hey, my stuff is being, I no longer have free speech on Facebook. Everything is being, what's the word? Everything is being censored. That this might have a bigger downturn to it. So let's measure 30 here. So if we break out to the upside, let's add 30 to 280 roughly. We'll say 310, or break down over here from 275. We might be going down to 245. Oh, look at that. Our 200 simple moving averages right there. Potential target to the downside if we continue to the downside, or 310 to the upside. You could put those, that might be not a bad strangle. Looking out, let's see, how many days back did this take for it to go from here to here? 9 bars, maybe 3 weeks out. If you have some time before closing CRM, yeah, I'll check it out, Pratap. We'll put it over here. So I also had Peloton on my short list. Looking at Peloton, honestly, looking at Roku, seeing that there's over 300 different live streaming channels on Roku for fitness. They have basically said, we're selling bikes and treadmills with our brand name on it, and we're going to sell you a subscription. I thought, this is amazing. This is awesome. Like Netflix, this is going to be an amazing mover. However, then I looked at the reality of it. They might be making money in selling the bikes and asking people to sign up for subscriptions for their classes, but you can sign up for so many other live streaming fitness classes out there. And I think it's a $12.99 model. They would have to continue to gather users, and it does not seem realistic to me. So this correction back down here, maybe it's interesting at 116. But I'd really have to look at it. This feels like a momentum play that happened from COVID, and it's coming back down a bit to reality, in my opinion. So definitely like this on the short side. Promise me you'll stay on Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, that scientist I will. I will stay on Twitter and YouTube. However, I'm going to do a video about all the scammers that are unfortunately using my profile. I do not appreciate it. It's no fun. And I really thank you for alerting me when I get messages from people just like you that have sent me a screenshot saying, Jane, you have this imposter. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. With Overstock, we're coming down close to the 200 simple moving average. It's not looking pretty, right? Let's draw this over here. This is not looking pretty for Overstock. I'm seeing a descending triangle right now. We are hitting a bit of a support. If this drops to the downside, which it very well could, then we might see we're really hitting a support level here. We can measure it down 51. We might be seeing this pull back down, maybe all the way back down here to 23. 31 points. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And Fastly. So Julia is stuck in Fastly at 103. All right, Julia. Here, let's check this out. So we have a trend line. We have some moving averages right here. It might end up getting held up over here around 86. Anywhere from 87 to 86. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Mark's asking if you guys could please hit that like button. If you like the live stream, I'd appreciate that. A little simple thing, but it helps YouTube share it so I can help more people. And it also lets me know, just a little pat on my back saying thank you, that you guys like the live stream and the effort that I put forth in helping you guys. So this line acted as resistance in the past, this red line. That is going to be potential for support. Do you see that, Julia? I don't know if you're still watching. However, I also see that there's a potential head and shoulder setting up. Shoulder, head, this could potentially bounce up to 98.50. All right, so this could potentially bounce up to 98.50 and then come back down and test it again. So watch for that. You've already felt some pain getting in up here for sure. I'd watch it. If you have the stomach, in my opinion, I would watch it to see if this will bounce off of all of these moving averages right here. It's sort of like the speed bumps when you're going around a neighborhood and you're in a rush and all of a sudden you get all these speed bumps here and then you're like, oh man, I hate speed bumps. Well, sometimes it's a good thing. When you're long and it's above you, not so good. However, if you're potentially in a position, you see how they were speed bumps up here and then they just came to the downside. Hopefully, I know hope's not a strategy, but looking at this, that's one consolation, that it might continue to the upside. Also, it depends on what the market does as a whole. All right, TLT. So this is the bonds. Remember, bad scientists, that when you're talking about bonds, right, that the bond market is really being propped up by the Treasury, right? Typically, you're going to have that negative yield when the rates are dropping, which we're starting to see that it's dropping to the downside. It's not looking pretty. But let's look at a post that I just posted last night oh, that's too far back. This one. Let's look at this image. So, you never really want to go against the Fed. This blue line is the Fed buying of securities. It's one of their instruments that they use to help to stimulate the economy as well as prop up the market. So what happened? The market dropped. They went crazy and started buying back federally backed securities, and boom, now it's just ripping higher. So seeing all of this, right now they're talking about continuing buying of federally backed securities until middle of 2021. So that's roughly June of 2021. We might see that this upward trend continues. We might have a bit of a correction going forward into January. But looking at that, we might see that the bonds really do nothing as a safe haven. It's really gone nowhere quickly, right? When we had the drop over here, people were interested in bonds. However, with the very low interest rates, the coupon rate being so low, people are not necessarily interested in buying bonds. However, the Fed is buying them back from people because they want to keep it propped up. So all that, this is, what is it, the iron condor when it just sort of goes sideways? Potentially that wouldn't be a bad thing for the bonds. We're just seeing it in a slow downward channel. I like this music. All right. It's slowly coming down. Potentially, if we see that there is a bigger downturn in the market, we started to see the volume increase when that downturn happened. The volume really isn't increasing here. If we go and look at something such as gold, are we seeing the volume increasing? Not so much right there. Let's look at, I don't know if the gold, hey Salve, how's it going? Thanks for your message. I appreciate that. Glad to hear Salve sent me a message saying that he really enjoys my live streams. It's helped him with his swing trades a lot. So happy to help. Right here, we're hitting all of these moving averages, much like I mentioned to Julia. This is looking like it's really just, stalling out here. Once we break above 19, 10. Really, I'm going to set an alert. Sometimes my southern accent comes out. Sometimes I'm Canadian. Sometimes I speak with a British accent. It's really funny. Living all over the world, I pick up different accents, and sometimes those words come out. And it depends on what I'm listening to, because I will start speaking with a southern accent when I'm listening to country music. So watching 1910, we have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, right? We have a left shoulder here. My pleasure, bat scientist, right here is the head, the shoulder, and then it's sort of dancing around the 50 simple moving average, but this is holding as support. And we have this downward trend line right here as well. Let's move that right there. That it's testing and really could catapult it higher. Let's also look at the silver futures. So personally, bat scientist, I like silver and gold better. I did my nails silver and gold because of it. And these silver futures are headed to the upside as well. We keep setting up sort of a fan. I don't want that. I want this. So we're setting up a fan, which means that, hey, those buyers, it's almost like a GAN fan. That's pretty cool. And the buyers bring it up. Nope, the sellers bring it back down to this one. The buyers bring it up, and then maybe we're going to have another surge up to 28, and then it'll come back down here, and then we'll surge higher again. The potential is really there for gold and silver to move to the upside. Yeah, nice to hear, bat scientists. So that's what I'm looking at for today, guys. You had one more, I think, that CRM. I didn't put it on there. All right, so CRM, seeing more of a negative movement to it. You see we had this descending triangle. It broke down from there, came back up, and really tested this as a resistance right here, the 21 EMA. Starting to break down. Would watch really to see if this is going to break down. Thank you, Asif. Asif is saying, please hit the like button and subscribe. Oh, why won't it? It's weird. It won't let me add that comment. But thank you. I appreciate it, Asif, even though it's not allowing me to add it. Okay. It's all good. So I'd watch 218.50. If that breaks down, would look down to the 200 simple moving average. Very, very rarely has it come all the way down to this 425. But when it does, potential buying opportunity down there. So if we see this pull all the way back down to 190, good buying opportunity in my opinion. I like to buy on the 425. Many times it tends to scream higher. I think it was Baba that was dancing around it yesterday. I mentioned it. Yeah, I said, hey, watch this. Sure enough, it gapped up. Is this going to hold right here or move to the downside? We did go over Amazon, I believe. I'm hungry, I'm tired, my brain is off from working on the website. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me at jane@cjanetrade.com. I am working on the website, so for my subscribers that are frustrated, trust me, I'm frustrated too. And I will be working on it and taking care of it. And I'm going to send out an email to everybody. And you guys all are getting an extra month. And then once the subscription, everything is working, I will let you guys know so that I will honor that sale that I have going on. I did get emails about that, and I'm very sorry about that. But it's going to be fixed. And as always, Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow.